Hey, what's up? This is Haviah Mighty, and this is the making of Flamenco.
It's Taabu.
So this track, Flamenco, this one actually started at Long and McQuaid when I was working there. I was working with my boy, Spencer. He goes by Taabu Music, and he produced previous tracks like Wishy Washy for me. So, but we're good friends, and we were on shift one day, and he showed me this track, this beat, and it was similar to Wishy Washy. It was a similar origin story, but I was just like, yo, this beat's so hard. Like, I really would love to work on this. And he was like, well, I have an artist in mind. I produced it like with this artist in mind. I was like, okay, cool, no worries. Let me know if the artist gets back to you. If they don't, you know, we could chop it up. And I don't know, it was a few months later, he hit me back and he was like, oh, you know, that artist never reached out to me. Do you still want to do something with that beat? And I was just like, 100%, you know what it is. So he sent it to me. I sat with it. He called the production Flamenco, and I talked to him about why did you choose to do that? And he was just saying like the instruments that he used, the energy that was kind of formulated in the, you know, like that was infused into the production, that he pulled the inspiration from that word and from that art form and from that, you know, that style of dance, that style of music. And so that's where he kind of got that idea from. And it felt like the right vibe and the right mood and energy, so I didn't want to stray. So I kind of just jammed some like ideas demo-wise with the idea of flamenco like in my head. Tell us about the origin process of making the beat Flamenco.
So the origin of Flamenco, that track really stemmed from I was going through samples one day and I was like, I need something new. I need something fresh. I need something unfamiliar. And I came across this flamenco style guitar sample. And for those of you who don't know what flamenco is, it's a style of Spanish music. And it just did something to me. I loved it so much. I brought it into a session. And I was originally actually fleshing out an idea for another artist. And I got into it, and I was like, okay, there's something really cool about this. And it struck me as almost like a wishy-washy part 2. Because I was like feeling it, and I was excited about it, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna hang on to this. I'm gonna show it to Haviah just in case too, you know? Mm-hmm. And yeah, the artist kind of flaked, wasn't really interested in working kind of together at that time. It just wasn't the right time. And that's when I brought it to you, and I was like, Haviah, what do you think of this? Is this special? Is this something you like? And I remember showing it to you, and slowly but surely, it just kind of, you know, very similar groove to Wishy Washy, very drum focused, but with lots of space. So that was a bit of a different thing for me, and I think that was just really fueled by just going back to that flamenco guitar sample that I found.
Yeah. So when I first heard the flamenco beat, this is what it sounded like when I first heard it.
It's Taabu.
So this is, I mean, it's an obvious bop, it's an obvious vibe. When I first heard it, I didn't know like if it was even like for me, but I just knew, I was like, this is hitting, you know what I'm saying? So when my boy came back to me like, yo, this beat is available, so you want to work on it? I was like, challenge accepted, you know? So I just started jamming on the guitar, jamming on the keys, trying to figure out like what melodies work. And it wasn't too hard because there's some beautiful melodies in this production, but I came up with loving while I'm wanting to flamenco. Girl, you wanna buy me when I bet. Yeah, so I heard this dope artist on Spotify. Her name is Mala. She's incredible, and she has like a lot of different vibes. She can tap into a lot of different types of production, but one thing that I think is common with a lot of her music is her melody. Her melody game is up. So I was like, let me reach out, and she was down. She liked the record, she liked the production, and she did something really beautiful on it. So she sent this was the vocal export that I got.
Morí matando lo que escogió, sé que mirando y enmoreció, harta de pan se bendeció, vida no entiende de mí que yo, si tú supieras, amigo mío, en vez de vela haría frío, si tú quisieras serías mío, podemos hacerlo como los críos.
With flamenco, I think I'm stepping outside of my comfort zone a little bit, you know, like, though I'm not speaking the Spanish language on this record, I bring an artist in who is doing that, and that's not something I've done before. And in addition, it's also tapping into a different cultural feeling, like one that is not necessarily innate to me.
We kind of looked for an artist that we thought would be able to pull the story together and almost take my verse 1 and utilize the language, utilize the sultriness of it, the energy of it, and come from a new perspective. I think that's the beauty of collaborating is, you know, 2 different artists can talk to the same theme and it's going to feel very different. And Mallow was down, right? And Mallow was down when we sent her the demo. She really liked the record, and what she brought to it was absolutely incredible. But I'd love to know, like, when I showed you Mallow's verse for the first time, like, how did you feel?
Oh, I felt good. I felt excited. What I did feel like was, ooh, we gotta embellish, we gotta embody, we gotta give her a parking space, the right parking space on this track, production-wise. Because she came through with just these incredible melodies, like just this smooth, just luscious kind of flow. And I felt like the production wasn't quite, for that particular part, wasn't quite doing her as much service as I feel like I wanted it to lend itself to.
Right.
So I feel like, yeah, like I felt so good about that vocal, and she's got a very unique voice, and like I said, just great writing. So I wanted to really capture the vibe that she was giving off. And that's when you and I kind of went back and forth and said, hey, you know, can we get on a Zoom session in this crazy time and maybe see if we can figure out the production over Zoom?
Yeah.
And yeah, that's when we kind of hashed it out. And I think after that sesh, it was like, okay, Haviah, what do you think? I think this one's good to go.
Loving when I wanted to flamenco. So I'm hoping that when people hear this record, they can hear that growth, that shift, that willingness to take a chance, to challenge myself as a creative, as a musician. I'm hoping with this record, it's still, you know, like it can be something that's aesthetically pleasing still, although it is different, although it's not, you know, what you expect from me, it's still a vibe. One of the best things about music is that there are no boundaries, there are no specific rules, and sometimes we stick to rules that we set for ourselves. But this type of record for me is stepping outside of those, you know, boundaries or boxes that I might think that I'm in and doing something that nobody would expect from me. Not because I'm trying to do something different, but because that's what naturally occurred. That's how the process of the song came to be. So yeah, I'm hoping that this song will showcase to people that I'm willing to step outside of my element and try something different, you know?